Okay, so we are going to continue graphing quadratics today. However, there is a difference with today's, okay? The instructions are different. They want you to graph the function, find the vertex, the axis of symmetry, and if it has a min or a max. Okay, so if we were to look at this first one, okay, obviously we can graph the function. We've learned how to do that. Okay, the vertex is HK. Okay, what is the vertex normally on? 0, 0. However, if we shift it and we can just say 2x, what is the very first problem?
Negative 2x.
Plus 2 squared minus minus 3. Okay, so what this is saying is if we wanted to pick the vertex out, okay, because on this top part, right, what does the K do?
Up and down.
It goes up and down. Okay, what about the H?
It tracks to the opposite number.
It does the left and right, and it does the opposite. And the opposite is going to be very, very important today. Okay, and then the A is kind of, we talked about a slope, and it can flip it. Okay, remember, so if it's a negative, it flips it. If it's a positive, it's going to open upwards. Okay, so when we pick the vertex out, I can look at this without even graphing it or doing anything, and I can tell that my vertex is HK because it's given. Okay, and so we really do the opposite. So my vertex is going to be -2, -3. Okay, my axis of symmetry is going to be H. What is our H value? Everything matches up. What goes to H here? Okay, well right here it says x minus h. X plus 2. So what is our h value? It's at 2. Okay, but we do the opposite, so the h value is really at -2. Okay, and then how we tell if it's a max or a min is going to depend on which way the graph is faced. So on this one, see, look at the point, the vertex. Is it at the bottom of the graph or is it at the very top of the graph?
Bottom.
It's a bottom, so it's a minimum point. Okay, Jade, move to your seat right now and stay there. It doesn't, you're bothering me, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't say anything. You're over there breathing all over her, you ain't got no mask on. She don't know where you go after school. She don't want the Rona, she's been quarantined 15 times already. You don't get away from her? Okay, so let's look at our thing, okay? Let's look at our graph. Without even doing anything, does this graph open upwards or downwards?
Downwards.
So if it opens downwards, no matter where it's at, whether it's here or here, is it going to have a minimum or a maximum?
Max.
It's going to have a max. Okay, and so you can write max on here. It's definitely going to have a max. Okay, what about the vertex? What is the location of the vertex?
0, 0.
No. Okay, it's this value and this value. Okay, but we do the opposite for the inside.
Positive 2, -3.
It's going to be -2, -3. We do the opposite on the inside of the parentheses. What about the axis of symmetry?
-2.
It's going to be -2. Okay, it's that inside value and we do the opposite. Okay, and then our very last step is to just graph the function. Well, we already know where the vertex starts. It starts at -2, 3. Okay, what our axis of symmetry says is that you could draw an imaginary line all the way down here, and your graph should be the same on this side as what it is on this side. Okay? Now, today, I don't need you to graph the function for real. Okay? What is our second point?
Negative 2.
Yeah, so we're going to go down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. Okay? All I really need you to do today is graph those 3 points. Okay? And then you can just draw your line.
So what about,
Okay, and so you're not shifting like you were yesterday. You're using the information on the graph to figure out how to do it.
What's AOS?
Axis of symmetry. It's the line that separates that graph into two equal parts on both sides. So if I folded it in half, that graph would be the same on both sides.
Is that the number inside the parentheses?
Yeah, the opposite though.
So the opposite is the outside number.
No. So see how this says, right here, it says +2? That's where we do the opposite on the inside always, so it's really -2.
Oh,
Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay, does this graph open upwards or downwards?
Downwards.
How can you tell, Javante?
Because the first thing is negative.
Yeah, because the outside has a negative, okay, we can tell that it, yeah, you can. We can tell that it's gonna open downward, so is it gonna have a max or a min? Think about it. It's gonna have a max, okay? The highest point is gonna be at a maximum, okay? So it's gonna have a max.
So pretty much all the negatives, the ones up or down, looking down would be down.
Okay, and then what about our vertex? What's our vertex?
Negative 3.
2 and 3.
negative.
3 over negative.
Negative
Positive 2 over 3.
Positive
3 over negative 2.
Positive,
Okay, what's the x value? It's inside the parentheses and we do the opposite.
positive 2.
So +2, what about the y value?
Positive 3.
+3. Okay, we got that from here and here. What's our axis of symmetry?
2.
Why?
Because put the power.
Where do we find that axis of symmetry from?
The inside of parentheses, do the opposite.
It's the inside of the parentheses and we do the opposite. So it says -2 right here, so it's really just gonna be +2. Okay, and so now we're ready to graph it. We graph our vertex, so go to 2, 3, and you could put a point. And we know that the graph is gonna open downwards and it has an axis of symmetry here. What is the slope?
1 over 2.
1 over 2, so we're gonna go down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2.
We gotta write that max vertex graph.
Yeah. Same direction. Or just sitting there not doing any of it?
I'm listening.
I'm a little confused.
Keep up behind the mouth. That is.
What else you talking about? Right here. So if there's a negative up front, it makes that graph open downwards, which is why this one's facing downwards. If there's nothing there, so this one will open up.
Oh, so you don't flip anything?
You're flipping the entire graph. So you took this graph and if I put a negative out front, we flip it.
Okay, but I'm not actually taking the slope and flipping
No,
the
no,
slope.
no, just
Okay,
the picture.
all right.
Okay, let's look at 4. What is 4? Or 5?
It's minimum. Oh,
Not 5.
it's gonna be max.
What did you call it? The
What's it called, though?
Max.
mom.
It's the mom and dad function, okay? This is what every function is based off of. You guys should know how to do it. I've been making you graph it every day, okay? So what is the vertex gonna be at?
1 over 1.
0.
0, 0.